Hello everyone, Genghis here, and before we hop into the pretty epic replay, Kipo, actually pretty epic replay, no Kipo, just wanted to mention real quick my equipment on the Batchat and my crew skills, which you can't really see in-game, right? I'm running vert stabs, optics, and vents. I have coffee, as you can see. And on the crew skill side, let me open that real quick, especially so that those of you who are always asking can just pause it here and have a look real quick. Wait. Great skills, Kappa, there we go. I have focused on view range on the commander, as you can see, with situational awareness and recon at full. Camo being just my last skill, which is a 6th or whatever. Having also Bia, 6th Sense, and Jack of all trades. You don't really need Jack of all trades. At some point I was running it without a medkit, and that's why I skilled it. But to be honest, like, repairs would be better with my current setup, aka running it without a fire extinguisher. Than Jack of all trades, but that's okay. On the gunner, I also have Bia, Snapshot, save stowage, because why not? Although you shouldn't get it in this order, you should get that like repairs and camo first, maybe snapshot, and then save stowage later on. And finally, firefighting, because as I said, I run it without a fire extinguisher, and it doesn't hurt the fire extinguishing at some point. And finally, on the driver, we have Bia, which is very important. We have snapshot, not snapshot, smooth ride, which should definitely be earlier normally. I retrain these skills over and over, right? So don't take these orders as too important. We have smooth ride, yeah, which is very important. We have clutch braking, which is pretty important in the Batchat because the traverse speed is actually pretty bad, and it helps a lot in maps like Himmelsdorf and Ensk and so on for driving quickly. Repairs, camo, Bia, and finally I'm going with off-road driving to be able to drive faster, Kippo. I don't really see the point in getting the ramming skill on the Batchat, in all honesty, because I don't really see what you should be ramming. In an A50, that's a different story. Okay, let's go again. So, in addition to all of that, as we saw, I'm also running coffee, optics, and vents, which gives me a total view range of 507, which I think is the highest you can get possibly on a Batchat without running biologs, obviously. And especially even in randoms, I found that very important because it allows you to have that extra view range to outspot enemy Batchats, to outspot enemy medium rations even, and so on and so on. Since the Batchat is up there with some of the best camo on the move and while standing still of all mediums. And obviously tier 10 lights now kind of change the dynamic, but there aren't that many of them around either. And they don't even have that much view range in many cases, and it's always also a question of the crew. Also, a little known detail, or I don't know, more or less known detail, coffee also improves many soft stats, such as for example your camo, your accuracy on the move and so on, which is why I really recommend using it on tanks like the Batchat, which really depend on view range, camo, being able to drive. Like it improves your speed, your acceleration, if you have the credits override, if you're running a premium account. If not, maybe don't, and rather run full APCR. I'm running 10 heat here because in the current meta you see a lot of E100s, and mouses, mainly mouses really, and Type 5 heavies, and some Jack Panzers and E3s. But most of the time I actually run full APCR because it's cheaper. Like, I do believe that like 20 APCR 10 heat is the best thing to run in randoms, but personally, most of the time I run 30 APCR, even though in this correct game that's not the case. Anyway, we're in a full tier 10 game on Erlenberg in the new patch. I'm going on the right. We actually have some guys going on the left. Recently, in many games, you see, one team just going on their side, the other team just going on the other side. In this team, at least some people were trying to break the dynamic. But I mean, I guess as we can see, that's not going too well either, since RE50M, they already died. And this 140 is, well, changing his opinion right now. Right? He gets spotted, and I decide to put some shots into his back. The tree between me and him should cover me from getting spotted, even in case he has a very good crew. At the end, now he can't spot me anyway, because he's past 4 or 5 meters. At the beginning, he was a bit closer than that. But yeah, getting one shot there. Not the best shooting till now, but what can you do? The enemy kind of has a better setup for the map, I would say, with a lot of fast-moving tanks and 50Bs and so on. But in the end, this map really, especially without arty, it's kind of weird, because in all honesty, you just can't push anywhere, right? This just gets blocked off, the road's here, the same goes for down here. If you really have an organized team and can also rush somewhere at the same time with covering fire and so on, maybe you can do something. But especially in a full tier 10 game where no tank, can take the charge and is like the only remaining top tier which can push somewhere or something with high HP. it really gets quite tricky. So that's why I decided this game is gonna get played over time and slowly. They have a lot of soft tanks. If I can manage to outspot them by playing, for example, the bushes over here, that would be great. I could cross over here and try and play this area, and while it may work, I would probably get stuck there, and I can actually not fight against much. I can't do much in the sense of pushing myself, and without any arty, which will definitely be able to do some damage over time, I decide to rather go here. I'm not shooting too much here because the Batchat with only 30 shells does run out of ammo quite often. I should also move my camera, whoops. My camera back down, if I may. Hello. There we go. Sorry for that. And yeah, that's why I'm not wasting my shells there and going for a reload. Especially since my first clip already. I mean, at this point I'm at 8 shells for 600 damage, and that really isn't so great. But I managed to get in some spotting here. I should be able to outspot many tanks, and otherwise there is enough cover all over the place. That should be great. And in case I see any enemies moving in, I can just take any of these bushes. Like right now, I see a Batchat moving in. Okay, this bush should allow me to maybe spot him through there. Maybe I can even get in some shots at some point. So let's just stand in this bush for now. And in case I want to get safe, I can just move to some of the buildings real quick, right? Sorry, I'm thirsty. Against, say, enemies with less free range, such as IS-3s or Dervers or so, and as you would face in the tier 8 game. On the same map, it's kind of out of my view. You could also be just doing spotting rounds in this area by making sure that you stay out of draw range of this area, or you can even do this in this matchmaking to be honest, but mainly against heavies, which you would be outspotting in the middle here. You could do spotting rounds in the field so that you remain out of draw range of all the snipers here, but you're able to spot people in the front. But yeah, here I would prefer to play here, because this also allows me to get in shots. For some reason, the pillar and the building stopped me from getting spotted by the Batchat, allowing me to get in a full clip there. By aiming well, I also managed to perma-track him, making me get him the entire clip, you know, all of the shots in. Also, who knows what was up with his rep kit, or maybe I even double-tracked him. In the south, there's some action going on. Our Batchat and Erlenberg are doing what I was considering doing early on, but I don't really want to join them. Like, I don't see any possibility of me pushing a 50B and an E50M with support from snipers here, which we just can't dig out, which can just go get hood down and get unspotted, or even both of them. Maybe so. However, I can get some side shots on people up here, right? Getting side shots on people here, like I might be able to get some shots, but they're gonna get very tricky shots, like top of turrets and so on. And in a Batchat, that's not really what they're made for. But over here, it might be side shots on heavies and mediums with not too much armor, right? We're not talking about mouses. Hence, I'm moving up into this area. I have to be careful that I don't get spotted by the Batchat, but I know this building should be covering me for a while. And I have shots here on the 215B side. They're not the best, but the 215B really doesn't have a good side armor against ABCR. So as long as you're not firing heat, you should be good. And even if you're firing heat at short range, you can just aim under the turret and penetrate it all the time. Anyway, I see the 62A moving up. I don't have shots anyway. I don't want to stand in the open like that, right? If I have shots, I can be a bit risky, see where the enemies are and try and get some shots in. And yeah, now you see me driving around. If I would get spotted, I would just instantly turn to the right and be out of draw range from any snipers. And maybe you can, you know, get on some spots. Score is 2-4, so it's really not looking too great. And the problem is I already fired half my ammo, including basically nearly all of my PCR shells. Which, well, isn't the best, right? Especially considering I only did 2k damage with it. Because there's only so much damage you can do with 15 shells. The enemies still have a lot of soft targets, and if they want to push at some point, however, especially on this map, they're gonna be in the open because there is nowhere they can approach. And they don't have 907s or IS-7s in big numbers or rush mediums or so on, which could go hold down while pushing. So maybe that's our chance to come back in this game, right, as our team. Also, the heavies over here could maybe get trapped and killed off with side shots. There's a 50B pushing over there, and I try and get in some shots. You can pen in some pretty weird angles on the side of 50B sometimes. So I could be shooting there and penetrating, but at this range, and considering how low on ammo I am, I don't want to waste shells, and I decide not to. However, when it goes into the open, I start shooting. But considering how the 50B stops and starts aiming at me immediately, I am pretty sure I'm spotted even before 6 cents goes off, and I just get safe. However, I still have 2 shells left and I don't want to reload. So, even though I'm probably a target for even the Jagdpanther right now, or at least some enemies, by just going like this, shooting the Batchat, I'm making as small a target as possible, just to snipe in 1 shell and then get safe. I'm even not spawned. This is actually quite risky, to be honest. I could eat a Jagdpanther shell for this. But hey, what should you do? I'm really, yeah, trying to decide whether I should shoot there or not, because I might penetrate that or not. But I feel that the E50M needs to move at some moment, and probably is going to, for example, even if he wants to get safe, show me more of an angle. Instead, the 50B peaks, I get one into him, get safe immediately, and I just count on, you know, in the worst case, the Jagdpanther's reaction being too bad to shoot me there. However, our Jagdpanther is going to die, our Kranwagen just died. The score is 2-6, so it's really not looking too great, and I'm down to like my last 10 shells, which are going to be heat. Score is even 2-7. So yeah, at this point I pretty much figured we were going to lose this game. The 50B is a one-shot and dies. The E50M is also a one-shot, but he's still side-scraping behind that building, which is not so useful. At this point I just want to try and kill that E50M. I decide to try and put one shot into him. It bends. And I'm just gonna run away. I don't even get spotted, so that's pretty damn great. I'm choosing the advantages of having a good crew. And by just hugging the... As you can see, I'm going around here instead of running over this hill. So that hopefully it, you know, right now I can't get spotted anymore from any Batchat poking there, or even if the Batchat is there, because the hill is covering me. Or if I would be driving a bit of a faster way, I would get spotted and possibly even get shot from people in the back. And that's why I get here still unspotted, and I decide to try and drive into these bushes. If I wanted to be super safe to get away, I could just run away like this, completely unspotted. But I wanted to try and hold this position. Basically right now I'm hoping that just by spotting the enemies, even if they don't get shot, they're gonna be scared, right? Like a Batchat, a Jagdpanther, even like a low-life medium. They don't want to push into the open if they get spotted and they don't know what's there, and might be an auto-loading T-57 or a Batchat or a TVP or all 3 at once. That's kind of what I'm hoping on here, more than actually shooting. But then obviously if I get the side of a 50B turret, yeah, I'll go for it. On the other hand, you see, like, obviously I could have shot there, but I really don't want to waste my shells here. I want to make sure I can carry, and I have, if there is any chance of that. I mean, at this point I kind of also gave up on it. But if I'm going to die here, if it's going to be my last clip, I want to make sure I pen all my shots and not just half of them. So don't see a point in getting spotted to put in one weird shot or something. Now suddenly the Batchat rush behind me though, and it's time to start shooting. That shot was just utterly bad though, so it misses. But we changed that, put in 2 into his side. I'm trying to aim for his turret or his rear, because we're shooting heat at this point, right? So if we're shooting the side, it might very easily bounce on the tracks. The 50B is a one-shot. I know I'm going to be unspotted, and I want to take him out. Then the 140 is also there, but he's also a one-shot. So I'm deliberate, but I figure maybe if I can take out these guys, we can regain some map control. That can work out. The 50B notices me though, but I managed to take him out with a nice, I don't know, not even snapshot. At this point, do I go for the 140 or not? I decide not to. I probably could have, but I don't know. If he plays well, he's behind another ridgeline, or behind, you know, he gets somewhere where he puts just 2 shots into me before I kill him or whatever. Or if RNG doesn't, you know, want to be my friend, I could bounce my shell. So yeah, I decide not to and just go for a reload. Also allowing me to load a full, you know, clip of 5 shells as my last clip, instead of having to load just 4. Not that that really matters that much, but yeah. The E5 and 62A already pushed on the other side, and the 50B and 2 and 5B are bound to join soon. The score got back to 8-10, so it does leave some hope. But then again, it's not like we have, you know, 2 full-life Mouses and maybe another full-life Batchat and a T-57 left. It's a Centurion which is probably going to die, a Batchat somewhere in the Leo. Yep, the Centurion dies before I can kill the E5. Someone drives through their cap, so I know someone is there. It's either the 62A. I'm driving along the ridgeline, as you can see, to spot them, but obviously, okay, I'm driving a bit too high here. The 62A could shoot me, but it still presents way less of a target than if I would be, you know, driving stupidly. And here, the enemy, right, I'm spotting all of this area. Well, the enemy just sees my turret, so although I'm spotted, only the very best players, honestly, would hit this shot reliably on me, while I'm able to spot them all here. And I don't even lose much speed. Okay, here I do because I need to turn because of the water, but I find out exactly what's here, and now I can decide what to do. I have 4 shells, I have 1000 HP, Do I want to push? I consider peeking for that 62A, but he looks rather hold down. Or could probably get him if I eat a shot from like the E50M and him. It's already a very bad trade and I might not even be able to finish my clip. So that's probably a bad decision. Especially as, for example, the 57 might be able to peek him. Maybe I can use this bush to poke on the 50B. But he seems to be gone. Maybe I can go... Okay, he's also dead. 12 to 13. The 57 also died though. Maybe the 50B is on reload. The Leopard says no die BC come. I do notice it more or less now. And I'm doing the opposite of not dying here. But the enemies have more tanks here and I don't want to let them time to regroup. The 50B is in a pretty bad position here. Between me here and the Leopard here we have a pretty nice crossfire. Basically my goal here is at least to put some pressure on the 50B. If he plays perfectly, right, like maybe he just goes hug a building there and pre-aims me or whatever. I would just try and run away. But time is low and I decide to be aggressive. Okay. I tell the Leopard it's my last few shells. He also points out in 2 minutes, so we're both on the same page on that. That's very good. Also, I guess Wargaming has made that way more obvious than in the past. The Jack Panther is still full life, but remember that 140 from earlier on, which I decided to kill and not with a 50B? Well, I remember that too, and I know he's a one-shot. He has 357 HP, I think. So that means I can definitely take him out. However, for the Jack Panther, I definitely need the help of the Leopard. And maybe even I will have to die and hope the Leopard can carry the game by taking the Jack Panther shell. Because I can't even carry the Jack Panther, right? I can't even kill the Jack Panther. I spot him, I get spotted in return. But I just keep driving. I know the Jack Panther isn't going to shoot here between the buildings. It would be a very risky shot. I feel like he has a shot between these buildings here. So I decide to use this building as cover for a bit more. Going like this, as you can see. Also to make sure I get unspotted before I go dive into this direction. At this point I consider capping real quick, but that's just a mistake really, because time is already past that. So I decide to just keep going. I think I pretty much, you know, I'm not sure, but I just guess that the 140 is there. He is there and he spots me and I just immediately stop to aim. Let's go into my view. He doesn't spot me in return though. That, my friends, is the advantage of using coffee, having a great crew, having optics, and even those ventilations with the extra view range. The Leopard has, I haven't mentioned that, been able to permatrack the Jack Panther E100. Remember how the Jack Panther E100 was turned, you know, that way towards me because I got spotted driving there? And then, you know, kept driving and kind of giving him the impression he might be able to shoot me instead of just hugging a building? Well, that allowed the Leopard to come in his side and just permatrack him probably in the rear track over and over and over. Now we have 26 seconds left. The first shot bounces on his lower plate, on his upper plate with heat. Then we roll for 331. And we managed to take him out with our last shell with 13 seconds left. That was not too bad, was it? Let's have a look at the post-game stats. We got a beautiful ace tanker. We got a beautiful Phalanx model. We got a Confederate. That Leopard, ally of ours, managed to farm 9,283 damage, so congrats to him. I managed to do 5,760, grabbing up 5 kills in the meantime, and 1,826 spotting. Leopard, let's say, playing more defensively, doing rather little spotting. But, I mean, that's also okay. Definitely congrats to the Leopard, like he really played well. I could not have carried this without him. And I hope you enjoyed this. Obviously 5,760 with 30 shells isn't the best. It also shows you the randomness of RNG a bit. I still managed to stay nearly even with credits, although I shot heat and was using coffee. And you can see that you can, with premium account, definitely use coffee if you run full APCR. In my opinion, it's really not an issue. I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you subscribe, like, and so on. If you really want to support me, you can also donate, link in the description below every video, as well as links to my Facebook page, my Twitter account, although that's not too active, and some more, my Twitch, for example. Hope you enjoyed, thanks for watching, see you next time, and bye bye.